we'll be fine. Don't worry, you know, sleep over it, time heals, whatever you're going to say. Hashem Yazor, read it to him, I don't know, right? But it doesn't really matter, because if a child wanted to cross the roads with a parent, so the parent wants a child to cross the child over the road, so they say to the child, cross the road, and he freezes. No, I'm not crossing. Cross the road! No, I'm not. I'm warning you, you better cross the road. Right? So, if the child at that point would turn around and say, but I'm so scared to cross the road. I'm really scared. Somebody in my class had an accident. So, as a father, what if it's a little girl, what are you going to feel? Oh, I'm so sorry, you poor thing. What did I do? No, don't worry. I will hold your hand. Nobody will do anything. We'll cross, we'll check. You see, we'll do it slowly, step by step. Take all the time in the whole world. You're my princess. I love you. I'll protect you. Don't worry. Yeah, it's a whole different situation. Now, that's the situation that my wife is going through. And she's come to turn to me to tell me from all the people in the whole world her problem. And what do? Don't want to listen. You will cross the road. You will not cry. It's nonsense, right? You've got fears, you've got anxieties about this situation. It must feel terrible, it must be so hard. And I think to myself, what would it take me? What situation would it take me to be feeling all that hurt? And, yeah, it's really helpful, really helpful. Obviously I heard it from elsewhere, and we use it. Okay, so let's recap on the things that we've said now. Okay, some of the rules we've got over here. Unless a woman asks very clearly, assume that she's not asking your opinion, right? Obviously, I'm saying this within reason. If she turns around and says, "What do you want to eat for dinner? Do you want chicken, meat, or fish?" Is that, ha, ha. How does that feel? It's like, take the food and throw it on your head. That's not what we're talking about, because she doesn't have an issue. She's just asking you what to cook, right? And in that case, the worst thing to say to her is, "I don't mind." Then you've given her a much bigger problem, because she can't win. She's going to lose whatever happens. Right? What do you mean you don't mind? Right? Just give me an answer. Which one? They're all here. You can have anyone you want. If you don't know, who's going to know? What kind of man are you? Right? That certainly wants a decision answer. Yeah. But if she's talking about herself and her day and her personal, encounter, so then assume that she's not asking me for my opinion. And what she really wants is a conversation. And the conversation is about validating her feelings, etc., as we said. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay, clear? Yeah, that's good. Next point. Never ask a man what he is feeling while he's feeling it. Coming back to the first case we talked about, the man who came home from work and somebody stole his client or took credit for what he did, and he feels like a fool, and he's feeling like a fool, and his wife says, "How do you feel?" I was going to say to her, "Oh, I can't wait to tell you that I feel like an idiot." She doesn't want to do that, right? A woman does want to do that in that situation. She wants her husband to know that she feels like a fool, because the validation and the communication that they're going to get from sharing it, for her, has far more value than caring about what other people think, that I'm a fool or not a fool. Doesn't enter her mind at that moment. Yeah, she'll tell you how it feels to feel like a fool with millions of words. That she does want to do. But the fact that you're going to think she's a fool at that point doesn't really matter, because she's already feeling that. So she's just showing you what she feels. It's not going to change. Yeah, but the man is going to feel worse. I was feeling like a fool, now I feel like an even bigger fool. And I don't want to feel like anymore like a fool. I'm waiting for it to go away and I'll carry on with my life. So the best thing for her to say to me in that situation is, "I can see there's something that's going on, don't worry. We're going to, in your own way, in your own time, go do what you have to do. I'm going to hold the fort together." Okay? And then we'll get back on into every day as usual. Be on the same team. Okay. This is a very important issue. This is a new issue. We'll finish with this. I think it's almost coming to the time. It's very important for husband and wife to support each other all the time in every situation and feel like they're a team. I may have said this before, but I think personally there's a time in a marriage, it should come early in probably a year, maybe 2 years, I don't know how long exactly the time should be. There's a time where a couple, they're going to succeed in their marriage, that they have to know they're in it forever. And they're absolutely accepting of each other. And until that point comes, they will suffer. This is from my personal experience, yeah, from all the people that I've encountered. And I've met people who are married for 20, 30 years and they still haven't reached that. They're still at the back of their mind thinking, maybe I married the wrong person, and maybe I should leave them, and maybe I should go and start again, and get out then, and go and start a whole new life, and this haunts them and they suffer. Yeah? And really, it's not a good way to live at all. Right? It's far more better, and what will often happen is that a person will bring all they'll understand the partner so well, and think, that's what they are, and I have to accept it. That is what I've also got things that they have to accept about me, and we're in it for the whole all the way through. And now we can fix it. We can learn to help each other and be a team. I know there's nothing new I'm going to learn about her now after all this time. You know, we're not talking about people who've got double lives and they have crisis and then they become a different person. And there are cases, lots of cases like that. Sometimes people go through situations, unfortunately. You know how many cases there are of people who become ill and the other partner stops literally their whole life to nurse that person through, and then they get better and leave them. Unbelievable. Because of the illness sometimes it just, they want to start a new life and they end up leaving the person who looked after them through their illness. I've seen it happen a number of times and it's shocking, but it happens. So people can change, but we're talking about here everyday life. Conventional people going day after day after day after day. So I have to live in Gehinnom every day and think to myself, did I marry the right person? Did I marry? I'll be happy. The rare way to do is that I accept them. I can see what it is that bugs me, and they've told me what bugs me about them, and we're going to fix it. We're going to work through it. We're going to accept each other as this is my wife. I don't expect her to be any different. I don't expect her to be something else, or my husband. Right? But rather we're going to assume that's how it's going to be, and I'm going to work with that issue, and we're going to work together and be a team. And when a couple do that, then the children see one opinion in the house. The worst thing is when, your mother said this, I don't agree. And the child's going to get confused. Then the child also sees a little gap and starts playing the parents against each other. And quite often the arguments in the parents is coming because the kids are actually winding them up. Not on purpose, it just becomes a routine. But Daddy said I can go. Or a child can't say, Mummy said that if you say it's okay, then I can go. You say, what? But I told her I don't want you to go. So you ring up, Mum, why did you tell her she can't tell you? I said, I never said that. She twisted it. I never said that. I said, speak to Daddy. Right? So it's true that Mummy said to speak to Daddy, but Mummy didn't say that if Daddy says it's okay, then I'll agree. Right? Which sounds like it's all been twisted. And kids will do this. The smallest gap they'll find and they'll do it. The best kids will do it. Yeah? But if Mummy and Daddy are one team and they're working together, and that's just one example of showing you the point. But it's once they're a team, that means in public, they never disagree. If I'm in public, it's embarrassing for somebody to see me and my wife taking opposite sides. Right? And it feels horrible for a woman. Horrible for a man as well. It feels terrible. Yeah? So that's one of the worst things, because once that bar goes down in respect and goes low, sometimes it's very, very hard to bring it back. And so it's best to have these rules. It can always be brought back. But what woman who knows that my husband is not going to take somebody else's side against me in public will build up trust with her husband. I think a man will as well, but since we've been talking so much about women, so I'm saying it in that context. It's true for both sides. I'm sure you'll agree. But if you know your wife says something in public and then you take her side, it could even be a silly thing like, I don't know, where would you like to go on holiday? And you're going around the table and someone says, I'd love to go to the Bahamas. And she says, I'd love to go to Yerushalayim, right? And it comes to your turn and you say what she said. How's she going to feel? He takes my side always. I feel so good. He's always with me. That's what she's going to feel, right? Now, do I want her to feel that? Of course I do. Right? So I can tell afterwards, I don't want to go to Jerusalem. I went there last time. Right? I love Yerushalayim. It's my favorite place in the whole world. But you know, I want to go with you somewhere else. Maybe next time, right? But I didn't want anyone else to know that. I only want you to know that. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. If a man gives a presentation of some kind, or he had to get a new job or something, and or I don't know, he was reading the Torah. Let's say it's a good example. He had to read the Torah. He practiced the piece to read from the. And his wife is in the women's section, and they go home that day, and she says to him, you know, from all the people that read the Torah, yours was the best. It sounded amazing. I just heard your voice, and I felt so good. And I stood up for you when you got called up, you know, for the bracha. How do you feel? I feel, I don't care what the rabbi thinks, I don't care what the friends think, I don't care what anybody, my wife said that about me. Fantastic, we're on the same team. Yeah. So a lot of what we're talking about in these skills, these communication skills over here about issues, yeah, we have to be in the same team. And it's not easy to do that. It's very, very easy to slip in this. I've made so many mistakes in my marriage in this particular point. It's so easy to slip and do something and not realize the consequence of what I just did and how it felt for the other party. And if they would do it to me, I would feel terrible. But it's so easy to do it. So once we start doing it, so then both parties will do it and the respect will go, and then it's very hard to turn around and no, we don't want to do that. So this is an opportunity now to stop and say, right, you know what, we're on the same team, we're going to protect each other and we're going to make it work and accept each other throughout everything. So that's the point. So that's expressed by not taking other people's sides in public. Even if I didn't take her side, but I actually went with somebody else's side, knowing that it looks like I'm going against her, even if it's just me and her that knows that, it's also not a good thing. Yeah? Privately, you can discuss it, but you know, publicly, it's not such a good thing. So that's the end of today. Any questions? Huh? Nothing?
No.
Anything on previous sessions?
No.
Okay. All right, the next session, please God, next week, is a very, very important session. It's really, out of the 4 sessions on communication, it's probably the most practical one. It's how to have a good fight. Right? The rules of fighting. Why fighting is necessary, when it's necessary, what ways that works, and you know, we'll look into that together. You can challenge me if you've got other ways of looking at it. But I'm going to present to you a model of rules of how to fight in a way that is actually productive and you get closer after it. And that's the rule of thumb. That at the end of it, did you get closer or just get angry?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you get closer, then it was a good thing, not a bad thing. Okay. Good night.
Where do these videos go?
This